We'd like to welcome you all here today. We are going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to board meeting. We appreciate seeing all of you and hope that you'll stay for the whole thing. Just kidding. It is Tuesday, May 2nd, and we are going to start the 7 o'clock board meeting. First of all, by indicating who is here. Julie, go ahead.
Julie Jackson, Kim Chandler,
Connie Burgess,
Chris Wynn,
Karen Winder.
Rich Nye.
Ben, is Clark online? Okay. Nicole McDermott, we'd like to excuse Clark Nelson. He is on a business trip and will hopefully be joining us if he has a minute to step out, but otherwise we are excusing him from the meeting. Welcome everyone here. We'd like to first of all recognize some people that are here. Office professionals, do we have any representing our office professionals?
Julianne Hamlin, President.
And tell us. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Our PTA, do we have any PTA representatives? Okay. GESPA? GEA?
Michelle Jones, GEA President, and Kelly Collette, Board Member.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, you guys. Middle managers, do we have any middle managers representing? Okay. Granite Education Foundation. And do we have our local officials? Is Carrie Ann here? Oh, thank you. Will you stand up and be recognized? We're going to recognize her in just a little bit, but thank you. This is Representative Lisenby, who is here to also be recognized for some other things. So thank you for being here. All right. We have a flag ceremony that will be done by our Olympus Junior High School folks, and it is actually Scout Troop, the Girl Scout Troop, 8410, and Boy Scout Troop 410 from Mill Creek. Their leader is Joanne Brown from Olympus Junior. So we're going to turn the time over to them for the flag ceremony.
Color guard attention, will the audience please rise? Color guard forward march. Audience, please salute in the manner of which you are accustomed. Color guard halt. Guard fall in. Color guard about face. Present the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Color guard post the colors.
Colors posted, sir.
Color guard face the flag. Color guard salute. 2. Color guard be form. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Guard dismissed. Audience at ease.
Thank you so much. Love seeing our community involved in these ways, positive ways. We are going to turn the time over now to, I'm going to have Ben introduce our reverends.
Good evening, board members and superintendent. Very pleased to turn the time over to our GTI principal, Ben Anderson, to describe our reverence for this evening. While we normally have you come down, today they would like you to stay exactly where you are so you can have a first row look at the trauma that's about to happen. So I'll turn the time over to Ben Anderson.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ben Anderson. I'm the principal, and it's my privilege to be the principal at the Granite Technical Institute. The mission at the Granite Technical Institute is to provide or to support students in a personal purpose, potential, and pathway to their future. We provide high-quality career and technical education. to support students in gaining those skills, certificates, and licenses that will empower them to be successful in their chosen career field. Tonight, our emergency technician paramedic class is going to be staging a mock accident. The students that will be responding to this accident are students in the EMT program working towards their certification. After the mock accident, the students will come back in and be introduced. Thank you. If the patients would come in. So please bear with us while we set this up. Thank you. Okay. Ring, ring, 911.
Body substance isolation, the scene is safe. EMT here. Hi, I'm the EMT here at you. Do I have permission to help? Yes. Okay, what's the reason you called today? Okay, eyes are referral. What's your name?
My name is Christine, this is my partner Aiden. You may know who you are.
Yeah. Here's the current president of the United States. And on times 4. Did you follow
He's
along?
alright, yes. Alright.
Sir.
Candles?
Okay.
Do you know where you're at?
Please, she's fine.
Do you know what day of the week it is? Okay, and you know the time you said it is? Okay, and on the floor?
So how are you feeling today?
Can you look at my nose real quick? Okay.
That's fair. Any signs that I should see?
Come on, take a quick look at your rating.
Do you have any allergies?
Can you run that for me?
Is that comfortable? Any medications that you're taking? Do you have any past medical history I should know about? And what's your time?
My last one, we're gonna give them a number breather.
So you fell off of your ladder?
Yeah.
How long was the fall?
Close the shot erasers and going on
Don't move anything else, sir.
obvious bleeding.
And what was happening? Okay, awesome. Anything else, sir? Just for that? Alright, perfect. Will you describe the pain to me? Without pushing our fault. Have you hold this up? On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most of your pain you've ever felt, your greatest pain. Okay. Awesome. We've got a jury to check that. Yeah, we'll do that already. Yeah. I'll get the vitals. Okay. We're going to treat her for shock.
Okay, shock, same finger. Has anything changed? Anything pain? Okay. It looks like we want. You got a broken arm? Right. I'm going to go ahead and form this to your other hand for me, so your toes face down. Down. Perfect.
Other than this broken arm, do you feel anything else? No? Okay. Do you have any allergies? Any medication? Any past medical history? When was the last time you ate your lunch? Okay. And what were you doing before this happened?
Let's go. Feeling all right? Okay, well, there's nothing, no obvious thing.
It was 118 over 88.
All right, okay? Okay. That's good. Does this hurt all the way to that? Is anything right back here? No? No bleeding? Sit up straight for this, okay? I'm gonna put you on this back foot, okay?
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. That's okay. 1, 2, 3.
GBD, no trigger abbreviation, no need for a collar.
That'll work out. I'm gonna go ahead and fill down your answers, everybody.
1, 2, 3.
Post office is 98.
98, okay? Can you grab my finger for me? Can you feel this?
Please press in. Please see your other hand.
Bring it closer, bring it around.
Close it around real quick. Straighten this leg.
Okay.
Okay, lower it.
Feel it? Okay, ready, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Anything you heard around your hips? Nothing?
Okay. Patient's looking a little bit cyanotic. We're gonna go ahead and put this on, all right, Doug? Okay. There.
We're gonna keep over one.
Okay, we're gonna turn it. Are you ready?
1, 2,
And we're gonna repeat primary assessments, ABC, total speed. Repeat vital within
Patient's on.
evaluation, technical evaluation, selection.
Let's go over.
Evaluate,
Has anything changed, Caleb?
that's.
Okay. Turn it around. Okay, ready? 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. No rehabilitation, anything? All right. One more time. Awesome. You feel this? Okay, go ahead. Transferring patient. On, stop really quick. I can take one more.
Can you push?
Okay.
Can you pull?
Let's go.
Teach your instructions.
That was amazing, you guys. Just to be able to have that much concentration and so much nervous, that's incredible.
It's fantastic. They've learned it all this year, and they are stellar students. So let us have them come in and introduce themselves. We're really proud of who they are and what they do.
Alright, I'm Jack Richards, I go to Olympus High School.
I'm Avery Lutheran. I also go to Olympus High School.
I'm Sarah Sperger, I go to high school. I'm Ruthie Larson, and I also go to Olympus High School. I'm Maya Turner, and I go to Cottonwood High School.
I'm Caleb Brady, I go to Olympus.
My name is Lorenzo Lopez. I go to Careyville. My name is Aiden Klein. I go to Scotland.
That's public education right there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stay tuned for scenes for the next episode of Granite 911.
We do want to repeat, though, for anybody who just joined us, that was not real. We did not have real injured people.
But if anybody does need medical attention,
We have some professionals.
just go ahead and step outside here.
Okay. All right, we are going to turn the time over to Ben for recognition for our Friends of Education. Ben, take it away.
Very good. Each year, board members, we recognize legislators who have been particularly effective in assisting us in public education and specific to a variety of issues that we might face. And we had 2 recognitions tonight. We did a few of these last month, and these 2 individuals were unable to join us, and so they're with us tonight. Unfortunately, Senator Kathleen Reby fell ill this afternoon and asked to be excused, so we'll find a different board meeting to recognize her. But I'd like to ask Representative Carrie Ann Lisby if she'd join me up here today. Like we've indicated in the past, we don't generally poach other board members from other districts, but we're happy to do so in this particular case. Representative Lisby was particularly sensitive to school security issues this last year and was very effective in working through HB 304, which has had a significant impact on juvenile justice reform already. We've had multiple meetings with JJYS, that's juvenile justice, and working through some of the new pieces of this legislation legislation. We're very excited about some of the pieces that she helped bring to bear and advocated for us. And so it cannot be understated the impact that this will have not only on our students who are part of youth in custody, but our general population as well, and working to ensure the safety of our students and our campuses. So we're just so very pleased to recognize Representative Carrie Ann Lisby. Would you like to share any words with us tonight? I know it's always scary giving a politician a microphone, but I trust you.
Well, I'm an unusual politician because I don't like to speak to crowds. So, but I'm just super grateful that I was able to work together with Ben and others in Granite District to ensure that moving forward, we're going to have better school security on our school campuses in K-12 schools in Utah. It's so important that we address these issues right now. We're at a critical juncture, and so I'm glad that we could get that bill passed. It's just the beginning. We'll continue working to ensure that our kids are safe at school. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lisenby. We appreciate you fighting for public education. All right, we're going to go ahead and continue with our recognitions. We have several on the docket, so we're going to turn the time over to Leslie Bell. She has a couple to introduce. James, where are you?
We're going to turn the time over to James Taylor.
Sorry, James
Very
Taylor.
good.
They didn't tell me that. Sorry, guys.
Good evening. A poor excuse for Leslie Bell, but I will do my best. It's a pleasure, President and Superintendent, members of the board. It's a pleasure for me to be here tonight to take care of some well-deserved recognitions. As you're aware, career and technical student organizations are key components to strong CTE programs. They integrate into CTE programs, and courses extend teaching and learning through innovative programs, business and community partnerships, leadership experiences, and service opportunities at the school as well as at the state and national levels. CTSOs provide relevant, engaging programs that improve student achievement, reduce dropout rates, and help students to discover the wide range of career opportunities that are available to them. CTSOs also provide a place for all students to belong. And this evening, it's my pleasure to present to you this year's state first place winners in all of our CTSOs from across the district. And we have a significant number of them. They are not all here, and if they were all here, we wouldn't have a big enough auditorium. But we will we'll have them come up by CTSO. I believe Ben indicated that we'll just have them go through, shake hands with the board, and then, Ben, where'd you go? I think he wanted a group picture at the end. So students, if you'll just stay up here to the front after you've shook hands, and we'll get a group picture at the end. So again, these are first place winners only. These are not all of the students that qualified for the national competition, but just the first place winners. We will start with the DECA organization, and I will read the student's name and the school that they're from. Again, first place DECA winners from Skyline High School, Aravan Verma. And if you'll come up, students, please. Again, Skyline, Mindy Fan, Ankoa Lee, Jeffrey Zoe, all from Skyline High School. This other DECA champion here last week was the national DECA competition, and this student not only is a state winner, but is a first place national champion in DECA, and this is Shaza Abdelrasul from Taylorsville High School. In FBLA from Skyline High School, Xinying Bai, Sophia Chang, Jonah Fernley, Ankoa Lee, Kyle Linnan, Joyce Wang, Calvin Webb, Ivy Zhao, Jeffrey Zoe, all from Skyline High School. From Hunter High School, Skylar Anderson, Sydney Archer, Darian Archbeck, thank you, Archbeck, Rayanne Burnside, Angelina Chang, Nicholas Sasaki, and Grant South, all your FBLA state champions. Representing FCCLA from Cypress High School, Soraya Tryon. From the GTI and Skyline High School, James Miller. Skyline High School, Brandon Winters. Skyline High School, Nandini Ramanathan, sorry, my apologies. Skyline High School, Tracy No. Skyline, Zena Altawelbe. Olympus Junior High School, Sarah Aguilar, Nathalie Aguilar, Maze Smith, and Coco Hobson, your FCCLA state champions. Representing HOSA, and let me just say the one thing about this first name I'm going to read. This student actually placed first in 3 different state competitions, and so they're a 3-time state champion. Vinay Calva from Skyline High School. From Taylorsville High School, Savannah Moya Gonzalez. Those are your state champions from HOSA. From Skills USA from the GTI and Cypress High School, Evan Hayborn. From the GTI and Granger High School, Ava Weimer. GTI Olympus High School, Paul Black. GTI Olympus High School, Jaden Wilkins. And the GTI and Skyline High School, James Miller, your Skills USA state champions. In TSA from Skyline High School, Landon Fan, Abahina Gopinath, Alex Aikida, Kira McNamara, and Luke Oliver. From Evergreen Junior High, Cole Anderson, Logan Pugh, Marcos Alfaro, Cole Anderson, Everest Roosh. Skyline High School, Sam Chalemis, Alice Leppert, Claire Reichert, Olympus High School, Claire Reichert, Evergreen Junior High, Marcos Alfaro, your TSA state champions. And last but not least, representing our FFA CTSO, these 2 students, one from Granger High, Hope Ramirez, and from Cypress High School, McKenna Robertson. These 2 students have earned their state degree in FFA. I'll explain to you what a big deal that is offline. These next students won the state championship, an FFA competition in an Envirothon. 2 different teams of 3, Edward Zacharias from Granger High School, Isaac Russell from Hunter High School, Vanessa Vose from Cypress, Jerica Harrow from Hunter High School, Logan Cook from Hunter High School, Emma Putnam from Hunter High School. Your FFA state champions. Thank you, students. Thank you for representing us so well. You're wonderful. It's a wonderful sight for me to get to see you all in one place. Congratulations. We appreciate your hard work and hope that your experience with your CTSO as well as your CTE classes will continue to benefit you throughout your life. So give us your best smile.
There you go. Go to town, parents. You can come up here if you'd like. We're going to make them stand here the whole board meeting.
Also, while we have these good-looking young people standing here, I'd like all of their parents to stand. Good students come from good parents, so let's give them a hand as well. Thank you very much. You can all take your seat, and we'll excuse you here in just a minute, but we want you to hang around for a few more recognitions. This next group of students, although they're not officially a CTSO, this is a program, board members, that hopefully you're starting to hear some pretty good stuff about. This organization is called CEO, which stands for Creating Entrepreneurial Opportunities. This is a brand new program, our first year of having it in Granite School District. And recently, here just a week and a half ago, there was a national competition. It's called the Pitch Competition, and you may have seen this on KSL News. This national competition involved about nearly 400 different business pitches, and they were judged. And out of those 400, we have a first place winner, a third place winner, and an honorable mention, all within our first year of this program existing. So if these students would please come up. Winning first place in the national pitch competition, Harleen Saini from Skyline High School. Winning third place in the national pitch contest, Nadia Ferguson from Skyline High School. And an honorable mention, finishing in, I believe, the top 18 in this national pitch competition, Austin Beverly from Cottonwood High School. If you haven't had a chance to see that news story, I would encourage you to take a few minutes and look it up. It's one of the most well-done news stories I've ever seen regarding public education. So thank you, students. Wonderful job. We couldn't be more proud. And how about we have their parents stand as well while they're here. Last but certainly not least, I have one last recognition. This is for FCCLA New Advisor of the Year. This is a state award that goes to Zaya Cuevas from Cottonwood High School. Zaya. While Zaya shakes your hand, let me just tell you, Zaya went to BYU, earned a bachelor's degree in Family and Consumer Science and a minor in graphics. This is her third year in teaching at Cottonwood High School, and she currently teaches sewing, foods and nutrition, culinary, fashion design, and interior design. She's working on a master's degree in curriculum and instructional design. and hopes to be done real soon. We're extremely pleased to present Zaya to you as your FCCLA Teacher of the Year. Thank you.
All right, thanks, James. That was a marathon. We appreciate it. We're going to turn the time back to Ben for some other recognitions.
Well, I hope you're not tired of shaking hands yet, because we got a little ways to go. We're going to turn some time over to some of our high school principals to present their Sterling Scholars. We'll start with Skyline High School, then move on to Cottonwood High School, and then finish with Olympus High School. Mr. Nerdin.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to come to talk to you today about Sterling Scholars. I'm going to present the most amazing school counselor. Angela Wheeler is in charge of our Sterling Scholar program, and I'm going to turn the time over to her.
Thank you. First off, thank you so much for inviting us to be here with you guys tonight. It is an honor to be here and to be here to celebrate and recognize the work of these amazing Sterling Scholars. Tons of work goes into it, tons of time, tons of sacrifice, not only this year as seniors, but pretty much since 9th grade and on. Anyways, I have the awesome opportunity, like Mr. Nerdin said, to be a school counselor at Skyline, and then I'm also the advisor and coordinator of the Sterling Scholars program there, and it's been great. It's been awesome. So what is a Sterling Scholar? First of all, the pursuit of excellence in scholarship, leadership, and citizenship, that is what defines a Sterling Scholar in the state of Utah. Each high school senior who is recognized and awarded has demonstrated their knowledge, success, and vision by presenting a portfolio of their work in a specific category, and has been interviewed by judges and has also advanced at the high school semifinal and final levels. From 168 finalists in 14 different categories, one overall Sterling Scholar winner is chosen and announced at an award ceremony. That ceremony took place at the Bountiful Regional Center on March 22nd. And tonight we have that individual in our midst, Mr. Aaron Wing. Aaron, if you can come up. Also, before highlighting the winners from Skyline, I have to also say that this year, all 14 of our Sterling Scholars from Skyline High School went on to the semifinals, all 14. That hardly ever happens, and so honestly, I consider this a dream team. Aaron being one of the best, obviously, and we had, after the 14 that went on to the semifinals, 9 of them continued to the finals, and then 4 of them placed as overall winners of their categories for the entire Wasatch Front. The Wasatch Front region consists of 94 high schools from Logan all the way down to Springville and everything in between. So, I mean, it's pretty amazing. Considering that fact, they killed it. They did awesome. So now it's my honor to introduce some of Skyline Sterling Scholars who are winners for their specific categories. As I said, this is Aaron Wang. He is fantastic in every way, and his parents, are your parents here tonight, buddy? They deserve to stand as well. There you go. Aaron was the Skyline High School Sterling Scholar for the category of computer science, and he went on to win the category at the Wasatch Regionals, and then also he was the overall general Sterling Scholar. Some of his accomplishments that I want to share with you guys tonight: Aaron's research at the Utah Neurorobotics Lab focuses on the creation of a wristband that will enable people with neuromuscular disabilities to control smart devices with hand gestures. How awesome is that, right? He has also co-authored a paper in the Journal of Intelligent Transportation Systems that was presented to the Transportation Research Board. Aaron took second in computer science at the 2022 Utah Science and Engineering Fair. He has helped establish an ambassador program to increase participation at that fair, and Aaron looks forward to attending Duke University in the fall, where he will pursue a degree in electrical and computer engineering. Aaron Wang, everybody. The next winner that we have that won her category of English is Kira McNamara. Now keep in mind also, as she's coming up, this is out of 168 finalists, and there are only 14 winners, so this is pretty amazing. Super big honor. But Kira, I'm going to share some of her awards and accomplishments real quick. Kira aims to have a 20-book children's series called The Adventures of Jack, published by the end of the year. She has helped quadruple the membership in our school's book club while serving as president over the last 2 years. She's, or a very interesting and cool fact about Kira, which everybody wants to go home and check out in Pinterest after this, but she is the most influential book-related Pinterest influencer with over 11,000 followers. She has also helped create Title I Strings, which is a nonprofit that teaches underprivileged children how to play instruments. Kira plans to pursue her degree in psychology at the University of Utah. Everybody, Kira McNamara. Our next winner from Skyline High School is Ellie Grieve. Is Ellie here? Awesome. Okay. And Ellie, she is the, oh, first of all, too, can I have Kira's parents and Ellie's parents stand up? They deserve a round of applause as well, if they're here. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So Ellie was the visual arts winner for the Wasatch Front. Ellie has studied art at the Peterson Art Center since she was 6 and now substitute teaches there. Her artwork was shown in a Cache Valley gallery. She took first in the Granite District's Visual Arts and Language competition. Ellie works with a class at the Utah Independent Living Center where she is able to use her American Sign Language skills. Ellie will continue her education at Westminster College, where she will be studying adaptive arts education. Everybody, Ellie Grieve. The last one that we have that won the category for dance is unfortunately not here, Caroline Hill, but I still want to share a little bit of her achievements with you. Caroline was elected as the president of the Skyline Dance Company and also dances at Elite Academy. Her 16-year dance career includes ballet, pointe, contemporary, hip-hop, jazz, and modern. She has been co-president of the Choice Humanitarian Junior Board for the past 2 years. Caroline held a benefit concert this past October with dance studios from around the valley. The intent of this concert was to raise money for ALS research, a disease which her mother passed away from a few years ago. Caroline is still working on deciding where her next steps will take her, but whatever it looks like, there is guaranteed dancing in her future. So to you, Granite School District Board, as you can see, it really is an honor to celebrate and pay tribute to these incredible individuals. I count myself super lucky and super blessed to have been able to witness the Sterling Scholar journey in their lives. 2 others that are here tonight that were some of our Sterling Scholars that I just want to mention their names because I believe that they deserve the recognition as well, is Harleen Saini. She was our Business Sterling Scholar. And Tracy No was our Family and Consumer Science Scholarship, or Sterling Scholar. There we go. Awesome. Thank you so much, and congratulations to our awesome Sterling Scholars. Yeah.
Mr. Douglas in the house? Anybody seen Michael Douglas? We're going to go ahead and go to Olympus, and I'll figure out where Mr. Douglas is. So,
another round of applause for our Sterling.
Well, I feel honored and privileged that I get to introduce you to Catherine Kaufman. Kate has been our Olympus High Science Sterling Scholar, and I'll tell you that she could have been a Sterling Scholar in multiple categories. We had all 14 of our Olympus Sterling Scholars did make it onto semifinals, and so it was just fun to watch them continue their journey and then to be at the Bountiful Regional Center and see Kate achieve the state winner in science. Kate is just an incredible human being. To know her, and everybody absolutely loves her, and just to see the amazing thing that she's done. She has a perfect 36 on her ACT. Perfect 4.0. She's taken 7 AP tests. I actually had to ask her that because I thought I didn't know for sure. But 7 AP tests, and 5 of those she has a 5 on. She's taking 2 more in the next 2 weeks, and she could have taken more than that. But the reason why she didn't take AP US Gov on Monday, I thought she had, but she didn't take AP US Gov on Monday because she is an early admittance to Harvard. And so Harvard doesn't accept AP US Gov, so she didn't take the test. Kate has done some really incredible things at her time at Olympus. She runs our Titan Brain Club, which is one of our non-curricular clubs, and she has large groups of students every month that come in for some of the different activities they do. They did a Jello dissection, a Jello brain dissection, and just last week on Friday, I was up on the 3rd floor by the science classes, and I saw a few students that were out in the hall, and they said, I said, what are you guys doing? They said, well, we just got done with a brain dissection. And I said, oh, this is after school. And she had done sheep brain dissections with the Brain Club, with the Titan Brain Club. So she's done this. She always, her mom came in on Friday after school, got pizza, and took it up to the kids as they were up there. So Kate's done just amazing things. She also has a podcast that she has. How many followers? I actually asked Nevin back here. I said, Nevin, how many followers does Kate have on her podcast?
Nevin's episodes has the most listens.
So she's interviewed how many students? So a lot of our students, and it's about social and emotional wellness. And so she's done just a great job. It's very well known, her podcast. And I heard, so if you haven't listened, tell us the name of your podcast.
It's getting better.
It's getting better.
It's super good. I listen.
So but listen, because there will be episodes like Nevin's and some of our other Olympus students that you will be thoroughly impressed. When I knew, I was excited that I got to talk about Kate, and I actually stopped a couple of her teachers in the hallway today, and I said, hey, if you were to just summarize Kate in a couple words, what would you say? And one of her teachers goes, oh, she is the top student that I have had in all my 15 years of teaching. And she says, that's not a secret. She goes, I tell people that all the time. And I was like, okay. And another teacher said, I just want her to run for president of the United States because I will be her campaign manager and she will make it all the way through. And then one of her other teachers just said, you just don't get better than Kate. So anyway, just an incredible person, human, wonderful example to all of our Olympus students. And so I just feel incredibly privileged that I get to be her principal.
One more round of applause as she exits the stage. I did call Mr. Douglas, and he regretfully is occupied with a school-related issue, so he asked that he be excused. But we do have a teacher here who's going to be able to help us introduce our final Sterling Scholar. So I'm going to let her come up and make the introduction for us. And Sterling Scholars, please don't leave. I have something for you as well.
That wouldn't be bad.
Hello, it's me again. I am Miss Cuevas. This is Laura Larson. Go on up, Laura. Laura, yes, great job. Laura is our state FCCLA Sterling Scholar. So just like our lovely counselor talked with the first one, she is the one that won out of everyone in the state. Sorry, I didn't know I was doing this. So I have had the privilege of teaching Laura for 2-3 years. And Laura is just that student who goes above and beyond with everything she does. It has specifically focused on the child care and child development section of Family and Consumer Sciences. She put together and organized a child care that she ran completely by herself over the summer, where she had students of all ages. She planned lessons and activities, and it wasn't just a daycare for parents to drop off students, but she was creating engaging lessons for all of those students. I have her mom here who can tell us more of her life achievements, because she knows her better than I do.
We'll step in for the missing principal. So some other highlights of Laura's FCCLA career. She did the costumes for an elementary school musical. And when I say did the costumes, I mean she costumed 200 kids from grades K through 5th and was in charge of the sewing, the organizing, and everything for it. She's been volunteering at elementary schools since she could help with anything. She's been there helping with all of her teachers, and she just loves anything and everything to do with students. It might be because she comes from a family of educators. She's planning to go to BYU, where she will be a 4th-generation educator when she graduates from BYU. So I guess it's just in her blood. So we're really proud of her, and thanks for letting us step in the absence of her principal. Appreciate it.
Congratulations to all those winners, and anybody, the Sterling Scholar process is quite a rigorous process, so anybody who even applies and goes through all that work, kudos to them, but especially those of you who made it to the finals and were finalists.
I would just point out to the board that 6 out of the 14 Sterling Scholars came from Granite School District, and we're very proud of their representation for us.
Thank you. Ben still is going to have the reins here, right?
I think we're going to switch over to the Utah Underwater Robotics Competition winners. I think I'm turning the time over to Rebecca Ibarra on that. I'm looking for Leslie. Yep, that's correct.
Good evening, Superintendency and board members. How are you? It's a great night. This is so cool to see this many kids get recognized. I'm just so excited to be part of it. If I could have, please, the Bonneville Junior High School students who were part of the UUR competition, please come up front. I believe they're here. Go ahead and give these guys a handshake. So what we did is the UUR is the Utah Underwater Robotics Competition, and it's held every year. It's part of BYU sponsors it. It's kind of a break off of what is well known called the Sea Perch competition, but BYU's brought it to us so that it's more inexpensive for us to be able to participate in it because Sea Perch is so outrageous. But with Brigham Young's support, they provide all the supplies and all the material and the equipment and everything that's needed to build these underwater robotic PVC pipe little robots. And they're really cool. They build them together, and then the teams will compete each year as part of the MESA STEM organization. And these guys are representing MESA students from Bonneville under the direction of Brandon Evans, their advisor. Now at the UUR competition, they have high schools and junior high schools. These are the junior high school second place winners, and they had over 17 schools competing from around the state and there was 125 teams competing in that competition. These guys took second place over all of those teams in the master division, not rookies. So they're really, really good. I just wanted to congratulate them, and they are, their group was called Loads of Barnacles. Load of Barnacles. And they are Isaac Casteller, Jaron Roberts, and Henry Forbush. So congratulations to you guys.
Did the parents, can you guys come back real quick? Wait, Ben.
Yeah.
They didn't get their picture. I saw some of them not. Rich?
And while you're at it, if you're not standing already taking pictures, will the parents please stand? Other parents. Good job. And get recognized. It sounds like a very, very cool competition, and thank you, parents, for supporting that, and to our schools and our teachers to
They're amazing. I hope to see these guys compete again next year.
And we're looking forward to seeing you up here again, gentlemen.
Also, we also have a first place winners, which is really exciting because this team from Taylorsville, come on up. Taylorsville High School, this was their very first year ever competing in the underwater robotics competition. And they did a marvelous job. It was my pleasure to stand there and watch them compete and guide that robot underwater, picking up hoops and delivering them back and going for more hoops. It was amazing to watch these kids. And this was the first time they'd ever competed. So technically, they are under the rookie category, but I want you to know that Taylorsville High School, under the direction of Craig Free, their advisor, Mesa, again, this is a plug for Mesa, get your kids involved in Mesa. And they actually took first place overall, including the master division. And this was their very first time competing. So these guys were known as the Warriors of the Sea. And the Warriors of the Sea are Kaya Hospodarsky, Braden Tolman, Dylan Wynn, Clara Pitts, and Mara Hospodarsky also helped out with that team. Since her team didn't show up that day, there was a reason that they couldn't come, so she kind of tagged onto them and helped out. So good for Mara on that as well. And again, congratulations to Craig Free, the director, the advisor for Mesa. Congratulations, Taylorsville.
Good job, Warriors. Hey, parents, will you guys stand up as well? I know I see a couple parents here.
You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for it.
For those recognees and our scouts here this night, and any other kid under the age of 40 who would really like some swag, there's some at the front desk. There's some cool Granite pens and some Frisbees, so please make sure you go have fun at Granite's expense. So thank you for those who will be able to participate with us tonight, and we're going to move on to some other recognitions. I'd like to turn the time over to Rick Anthony for a special recognition.
I'm going to really quickly turn the time over to Noelle Converse, Director of Curriculum and Instruction.
Okay, Board President, Superintendent, board members, guests, and colleagues, this is a really exciting award. So I want Joanne Brown from our troops to come on up, please. Stand here. I have a few things to say about her, to brag on her a little bit. Tonight we're recognizing Mrs. Joanne Brown from Olympus Junior High School, who was selected as one of 5 finalists representing Utah for the Presidential Award of Excellence in Mathematics and Science Teaching. This is the highest honor bestowed by the United States government for K-12 science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and/or computer science teaching. Now, I want to just say a little bit about this process. After you are nominated for this award, it's quite a long process. You have to video your class, analyze the successes and mistakes in the video, present your philosophy of teaching, discuss the impact of teaching in the classroom and outside of the classroom, and in all it takes about 25 pages worth of work in the end. As a finalist, Mrs. Brown serves as model for her colleagues, inspiration to her community, and leader in the improvement of STEM education. To tell you just a little bit about her, Joanne's first job as a teacher started in 1998 at Olympus High School, and she's still there after 25 years. So she has found, 26? Olympus Junior, I'm sorry, I said high school. Olympus Junior, and she is still there after 25 years. She found that she loves teaching science, and she has made it her life's ambition to help her students love science as much as she does. Joanne received the Excel Outstanding Educator Award in 2005, and then she was Teacher of the Year in 2007. She's done a lot to bring her passion for science to the world outside of her school by serving as president of the Utah Science Teaching Association, being a Utah Teacher Fellow, and serving as a building rep for GEA for over 15 years. Her latest project is becoming a solar eclipse partner for the National Science Teacher Association and the Solar Science Institute. Did you know there's a solar eclipse coming on October 14th? So mark your calendars, Joanne wants us to know. The project she is most proud of is her school's outdoor classroom. From here, what happens next with Joanne's application is, along with the 4 other Utah finalists, they will advance to a national selection committee. From the Utah finalists, 2 will be chosen as the 2023 Utah awardees. The awardees will receive a certificate signed by the President of the United States, a paid trip for 2 to Washington, D.C. to attend a series of recognition events, and $10,000 from the National Science Foundation. So we are going to wish Joanne the very best. We're really counting on you to bring it home, and we just want to honor you for all of the amazing work you do. These accomplishments are unbelievable, but I happen to know that Joanne's biggest accomplishments are with the kids that she works with. She is quite the astounding teacher. So thank you very much. Go ahead.
Great job, Mrs. Brown. We wish you the best of luck for all of that. Thank you. All right, Ben.
Doug texted me and asked when this was all going to be done, and I said, when we recognize teachers, you'll know when we're done, so we'll get there. But we'll get to policy soon enough. We're going to turn some time over to Chief Porter to recognize some of our police officers this evening.
If I could have Officer Philip Afonso, please, come to the front of the room. Officer Philip Afonso, we're presenting this Heroic Service Award with great honor and appreciation for commendable and life-saving service on April 1st, 2023, where he entered a burning building to save a man's life at the peril of his own, and we're grateful that he made it out okay, and so did that citizen. But thank you, Officer Afonso.
Thank you. I'm not going to take any credit for that, but he was my student. I just want you all to know that. He was a great kid at the time I had him, and turned into an amazing guy, so.
If I could next have Sergeant Gabriel Johnson and Detective Christopher Mitchner please come up. Sergeant Johnson and Detective Mitchner are responsible for the department's investigative division. This is a distinguished service award presented to them with great honor and appreciation for commendable, hang on just a second, for commendable and dedicated investigative work this school year. This has been a busy school year, and thank you for your hard work. Some of the hard cases they've worked, most recently the Whittier kidnapping case, along with a string of others. But thank you both very much. Detective Mitchner, Sergeant Johnson.
As a matter of personal privilege, I'm aware of these gentlemen's fine work in detective work. The Whittier case in particular, where we had a situation we were trying to hide. Where are you guys going? We got to get a picture. Sorry. We had a situation where we were trying to identify a suspect in a very short period of time, and there were some keen details and some very excellent detective work that led to the identifying of that suspect, which broke open that case. So we're very appreciative. Let's give them one more round of applause.
Thanks so much, you guys. We really appreciate you being part of our family here at Granite. And we'd like to recognize real quick that we do have Clark Nelson online that did join us during part of that recognition, but he is here for the meeting. And Ben still is he's just monopolizing the meeting.
I apologize. I had this open and my computer got shut, so I need to pull it back open again. So
It is so delightful to have so much good news tonight. I just want to say that. I love it.
for our first video recognition this evening, we'd like to recognize our administrative office professionals. This last week was a special day, and we know how much of an impact these individuals have in our schools. So we have a short video presentation to share with you.
Hi, I'm Noelle, and I'm in the curriculum instruction department. I just want everyone to understand how important our administrative office professionals are to work with. We could not do the valuable work we do for Granite School District without each and every one of them and what they bring to us. Everything that happens at the school at some point goes through the office, and the secretaries help organize, pretty much all of the stuff in the background. Our secretaries are the first contact that parents or students have with the school. Anyone can nominate a secretary for the Going the Extra Mile Award. We call it the GEM, and it's awarded once a month to someone who is really doing a great job in their responsibilities and really showing that they care about their job, the people they work with, the people who come into the office. One of our favorite things to do is to go award those each month. We get to go and surprise an office professional in their office with a certificate of recognition, their nomination, and an Amazon gift card. We've got a lot of awesome people that we're lucky enough to work with. And I'm really proud to work with so many people that are so dedicated to their jobs.
Would it be appropriate if we had members of our Office Professionals Association, Granite Education Association, Office Professional, JEOP, whatever it is? I get to work with Gaina and Julianne directly, and they're a pleasure, and they do an excellent job recognizing or representing this association. Donette Dio from Granite Park back there, say hello.
Hey, Julianne, how does somebody go about nominating somebody for that? Can you tell us where to go?
Each month in the newsletter, we send out a link for it. You can also email us with your nomination. Parents can nominate teachers, principals, other office professionals.
Okay, thank you.
And every school should have a postcard or some kind of a flyer that has a QR code that you can link that way to.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Thank you for that. This is a special time of year, obviously. We've got a tremendous amount of recognitions, and I think it goes without saying that we would not have the recognitions that we have had tonight if we didn't have excellent and wonderful teachers in our classrooms. And so to kick off not just a week or a day, but really hopefully a whole month of celebrations, because every student recognition is really, there's a teacher behind that child just as much as there's a parent, right? And we work together as a team to make that happen. So we're pleased to present this video, but also recognize the fact that we have some tremendous activities coming up to celebrate teachers and the great work that they're doing throughout the month of May and throughout Teacher Appreciation Week. So without further ado.
My name is J.D. Talbot. I'm the Executive Director of the Granite Education Foundation. We get so excited every year to do all we can to highlight and thank teachers throughout our district. We have so many amazing educators here in Granite, and we truly believe in the foundation. The more that we can do to celebrate the teaching profession and elevate the teaching profession, the better it is ultimately for our students and teachers in this district. So thank you, teachers, for all that you do. This year we have incorporated Thank You Thursdays, where anyone in the school is able to nominate a teacher that we're able to surprise and come out and thank. We have some generous partners that also recognize the challenges in the teaching profession and want to celebrate that. So when we come out on Thank You Thursdays, it's been a blast to just celebrate the deserving educators that you all don't get enough recognition for all that you do. So thank you again, teachers, for everything that you do, and especially for the students here in Granite.
It's your pleasure, board. Would it be appropriate to have any current or former teachers please stand and be recognized?
Thank you. It's a lot of hard work, isn't it? And one day or 1 week is not enough to say thank you, but we really appreciate all the hard work that teachers do. We're going to move on to I don't see that we have any, unless I'm missing somebody, the Granite elected officials participation time. We do have one person signed up for patron participation time, but as it has something to do with an agenda item, we're going to push that to the agenda item, if that's okay, which takes us to our consent agenda. This is something that we've had for several days to be able to look over, ask questions, and discuss or make any changes that needed to be made. With that, I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the consent agenda, but with the exception of a couple of items, the contracted services to improve AP/IB participation in scores and the Teen Center construction items.
Okay, so we've had a motion to approve the consent agenda with the exception of
contracted services to improve AP and IB participation in scores.
And the Teen Center. Do I have a second? Okay, motion fails. Do I have a new motion?
Move to approve consent.
Okay, I have a motion.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to approve consent agenda. Any questions, discussion?
I'd like to just make a few comments if I can. Just discussion about why I moved to remove a couple of items. I know, so the contracted services to improve APIB participation in scores is a contract with Equal Opportunity Schools. I believe the district has contracted with them for a few years. This is not the first time we'd be doing that. I understand that. But I have seen firsthand and also heard feedback from constituents about some of the aspects of the program and the training that's presented. I've seen actual training materials and handouts from Cyprus, for example, the first 30 seconds of which made it very clear that parents taking their kids out of school to homeschool was a white racist reaction to school integration and the cause of low performance rates in schools. So just that little brief example at the very beginning of that training material, to me, it did not seem appropriate for our district. And it makes it seem, from my perspective, that Granite aligns with EOS and our beliefs that our programs currently are systemically problematic and that we're essentially profiling and excluding less privileged races. So, our own agenda even states that this contract has been entered into with the express intent of narrowing the race and income gap in AP classes. And if you go to the EOS website, it's clear there as well. So their website basically states that, students of color are being shut out of or denied access to AP classes. And those are claims that I personally don't feel have merit. I also feel like it's the kind of thing that our state legislature has tried to address on multiple occasions now. HB 427, among other things, states that we should not be implementing policies or programs that support the idea that one student is inherently advantaged or inherently disadvantaged based on the color of their skin. So just those things about this company and the contract concern me, and that being said, I cannot support a contract with them. So my vote would have to be no on that. Just with regard to teen centers, I've heard stories about the kids who these centers will benefit for sure. I just feel like there's some concerns with schools staying in appropriate lanes and that we're blurring lines and taking over roles that don't belong to schools, that really belong to parents and families and communities. And so I feel like we need to be able to have a clear line there, and that we, over years, it's not just today, over years the public education system has been crossing those lines consistently. And so just for me, maybe perhaps it's just a bigger government versus smaller government issue, and I side on the side of smaller government. So just throwing out my concerns so you understand why I have to vote no.
Thanks. Any other discussion, questions? Okay.
Dr. Knight, do we know anything about the claims about the video and about this company? Can you speak to any of that?
Certainly.
About the ABIB?
Yeah, so for the Equal Opportunity Schools, as has been mentioned, it's been in the Granite School District for 5+ years. And when we talk about gaps, what it is that we're looking at and what has been identified in our own student data is that different student groups have not participated or accessed advanced coursework, advanced placement, international baccalaureate, concurrent enrollment, for an example. And so given the fact that we have gaps in, and some of our course enrollments don't reflect the demographic of the school, what Equal Opportunity Schools does is provide or facilitate a framework for us to be able to identify what specific reasons exist. But more so than that, and that's not the primary focus, is how do we connect students and their parents to these resources to increase enrollment in advanced coursework. And so Equal Opportunity Schools hasn't said of Granite School District that I'm aware of that we are shutting out, as maybe their website suggests, that we're shutting out students or different student groups, but rather partners with us to elevate the student voice and identifying what their interests are, what barriers may exist from them participating in advanced coursework, and then making sure that those things are addressed. And so while we consider what it is that they bring to our schools, working with the principals, talking with the principals that have engaged in this effort, they find it a value add. And one school in particular that's partnered with EOS just this last year increased the enrollment in their advanced coursework by 35% to be more reflective of the demographic of their schools. And so if there are concerns or questions or feedback, or if there's material that's of questionable nature, I would hope that would be brought to my attention for further investigation and discussion.
I've been a board member for over 8 years. This has been in high schools for 5 years, and I haven't had one constituent reach out to me about that with concerns.
I know one thing that helped is when Granite made it available to not just hire performing students, but anyone that wanted to get into an AP class, they were able to do it, and that really helped.
And I agree that I've not heard anybody have a problem with this, but also this isn't just in regards to race, but it's also in regards to those who are of lower income. And there's a great deal of research that shows that they are not taking classes, and the advantage of taking AP classes or concurrent enrollment, your success rate, even if you only get a 1 or a 2 on the test, if you go to college, they find they are much better prepared as college students than their peers who are equal to them as they go to college, regardless of, like I say, race or whatever it is. It also is a socioeconomic, and when we live in a district like we have, that has a huge impact. It's a lot bigger picture than that. So, all right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, questions? All right, Clark, did you have anything? I heard you online. Okay, thanks. All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
All right, motion passes 6-1. With that, we are going to turn the time over to John.
Thank you. It's my privilege this evening to introduce to the board one of our new appointments. We did a lot of them last month, but we had a need to go ahead and do another tonight. I'd like to introduce to you Charlotte Bynum. We'll have her stand. Charlotte has served as an elementary teacher at Roosevelt Elementary. She has also been a literacy coach at Diamond Ridge and Elk Run, and a Gear Up coordinator at Granite Park Junior High and Cottonwood High School. Charlotte served as an intern assistant principal at Granite Park Junior High, and she is currently serving as an assistant principal at Copper Hills Elementary and South Kearns Elementary Schools. Next year, Charlotte will be the new principal of Truman Elementary. First of all, Charlotte, we'd like to thank you for your patience. You've been very patient. Of course, it's been fun to see all these students receive recognition. Who did you bring with you this evening?
I brought my husband. This is Darius Bynum.
Thanks, Darius, for being here. And you also have a huge fan behind you, Shauna. Yeah.
Tim Clark, know him from Granite Park, and then
Shauna. All right, congratulations. Just a quick note, Allison Ghosh, who is currently the intern assistant principal at Eisenhower, also received an open contract, and we'll be inviting her to a future board meeting when she receives her assignment. So, thank you.
With the consent approval, we also had another appointment for my department, and For those of you who don't know, Matt Sampson will be moving on to greener pastures, literally in Indiana, to be closer to family. And so we wish him well, but with his resignation, we needed to find somebody to replace him. And I'm pleased to introduce someone who is even more patient and has been here all by himself. Luke, would you mind stand? This is Luke Allen. Luke comes from us. Usually we steal from other school districts. This time we're stealing from another government agency. He has been working with Salt Lake City in their public lands department for the last 5 or 6 years or so. He's been working with the Utah Lake Commission and done some private work in the marketing sector as well. He has a Bachelor of Science degree in Recreation Management from Brigham Young University and a Master's of Strategic Communication from Westminster College. So he brings a wealth of experience with him, and we're very excited to onboard him in the coming weeks. And particularly, he speaks Spanish, so I think that's super cool. So we're excited to have him be a part of our communications team and look forward to working with him. Thank you, Luke. And did you bring anybody with you here tonight? Okay, just kidding. Sorry. Thanks for being here. And you do not have to stick around if you do not want to, but the board meetings are super exciting, especially this next policy section. So
You're going to sit through enough of them, Luke.
You gonna take that, Doug?
Hey, Luke, we're so excited to have you join the team. We appreciate you being here. All right. With that, Doug, take it away. Going to go on to our first readings and turn it over to Doug. We have 3 policies that we've reviewed, and we're going to go over those.
Yeah. So for me, this is the most exciting part of the evening. And I appreciate board members. Thank you for allowing me to be here. For those of you that have been working with us on these policies in the Law and Policy Committee, thank you for your efforts. We do have 3 first readings tonight and 1 second reading. The first readings, I'll just start and go down the list. The first is a policy regarding learning materials. This policy was made necessary, it was prompted by the passage of SB 55, which gave us some further direction regarding how the district selects learning materials. And so what we did is we reorganized our policies somewhat. We combined a few policies, as we love to do, to consolidate, and we've brought them together into this particular policy. This policy will also be supported by some other memoranda of understanding, and but this policy itself is basically an overarching policy related to how the district obtains learning materials, and including instructional materials and supplemental materials. And the policy addresses how these categories of materials for students will be adopted and used in our school district. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any further questions regarding the learning materials policy.
Okay. We don't have any questions. I will entertain a motion.
I motion that we approve Article 10A6, learning materials for first reading.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Per further discussion, we do have Michelle Jones, who has signed up to speak to this specifically. If you'll state your name and...
Michelle Jones, GEA President. I also live at 3710 South, 500 East, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84106, right next to Lincoln. So dear Board President, what?
It was the old Lincoln.
That's true.
I mean, the old
Granite Park. Yeah, that's all right. We know. So dear Board President, school board members, and Dr. Nye, GEA appreciates Granite's long history of establishing clear processes that provide opportunity for both educator and parent input. We've heard together how important having these 2 groups speak on important issues is to making sure that we have excellent classrooms for our students. These processes ensure that decisions are made thoughtfully and that they support high-quality learning and create safe and welcoming school communities for the diverse students our district serves, which we saw so brilliantly tonight. The proposed language for Article, is it X or 10?
10.
Thank you. 10A6, learning materials, continues this tradition. This article establishes clear protocols for the vetting of instructional materials, learning materials, RIMS, and supplemental materials. It ensures that all instructional materials are consistent with our community values, developmentally appropriate, and have clear guardrails of the state core. GEA supports the proposed language of Article 10A6, learning materials. We look forward to continued collaboration with the district to create and uphold clear processes that ensure thoughtful, consistent decisions are made within our district. It is this clear consistency that creates safe and supportive schools for students and educators. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. All right, are there questions or discussion? We will go ahead and take a vote on that. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
All right, next policy. And Michelle, you're welcome to come up and give an endorsement of any policies that you'd like. I think it's great. This one's the continuing of continuity, of education for homeless students. Law and Policy had Shanley Tonez come to our Law and Policy meeting. She has been a tireless worker with our homeless population for several years now. It's one of those positions that not a lot of people are aware of, and yet she literally works with hundreds and hundreds of kids who are having difficulty because of their housing status. She helped us to revamp our continuity of education for homeless students policy. And I don't think she would mind me saying this, just prior to her departure, she's actually not going to be with us much longer. She's going to be having a baby in just a couple of weeks. So congratulations to her if she's listening. The continuity of education for homeless students policy needed to be updated so that it would be more in line and more consistent with some of the commentary that's been written about the McKinney-Vento Act, which is the federal statute that governs this issue for our students. This was cleaned up by Shanley, and we appreciate her effort in doing so, as well as all of her efforts in working with homeless students for so many years. So if you have any questions about the policy itself, I'd be happy to respond.
Questions? I just want to point out, I think she said we had, what did she say, you guys? 1,200 students?
That's a lot. I thought it was 2,000.
And it increased, like, we had 1,200 last year, and I think it's increased to 2,000, that she is seeing a huge amount. And that's an incredible thing for her and her department to undertake, and mostly her, right? So
I think she is the department.
I think, yeah.
She's got a couple of people that work with her now. So this year she had two outreach workers that have joined her, and yeah.
Just a huge undertaking for these kiddos. So
I just have a comment. I'm really grateful for this policy because I think it affects every single school we have. I don't think there's a school that this doesn't touch or affect, and I've met some of these kids, and it's tough, and so any supports they can get in any way, shape, or form is what they need, so.
I want to thank too that you have the policy. It's been close to me, and so I'm grateful that the district reaches out and helps those students that are homeless.
okay. No further discussion or questions. Let's entertain a motion.
I move that we accept, I got off this page, the continuity of education for homeless students, Article 9D1, as a first reading.
I'll second.
All right, we've had a motion to approve Article 9D1, Continuity of Education for Homeless Students, as a first reading, and a second. Any other further discussion or questions? All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes.
Great. The last first reading that we have tonight is Article 8A15, Student Dress Guidelines for District Schools. We tried to develop a policy combining a couple of old policies. Our old policy was mostly geared and related to the adoption of school uniforms, which some of you will remember was a thing at one point, is not so much a thing anymore. However, we have had a dress code guidelines in our memorandum of understanding. For some time, those were old and needed to be updated. We've combined those things into this policy. This policy is intended to provide some broad guidance to schools on the issue of dress standards, but it does not micromanage. In fact, it directs schools to adopt their own policies that are locally driven by parents, students, and community councils, so that they can take these broader guidelines and narrow them in any way that they see that's appropriate. With that, I'm happy to respond to any further questions about the policy.
Any questions?
Not a question, but just a little bit fangirling on section B. All students should be able, I want to read it because I think it's really important. All students should be able to dress comfortably for school without fear of unnecessary discipline or body shaming. The school should be an environment where teachers can focus on teaching without the additional and often uncomfortable burden of dress code enforcement. Students should not face unnecessary barriers to school attendance. Dress guidelines and standards shall not discriminate on the basis of, and then it lists every basis you could imagine. And I really appreciate this verbiage being in here, because I think these have been barriers for people, that are ways that the dress code has been a barrier for people. And so I think that setting that standard as we give communities the opportunity to create, more specific dress code standards is really important. So I'm really excited about that part of this policy. See, policy is the most exciting part
Super exciting.
of this meeting.
So exciting.
And I appreciate us having brought this forward. There has not been an existing policy, just the guidelines, the memorandum that we've had outlining this. So this is a much needed policy. Okay, if there's no further discussion.
I move that we approve Article 8A15, Student Dress Guidelines for District Schools, as a first reading.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve Article 8A15, Student Dress Guidelines for School Districts, as a first reading. No further discussion. We will go ahead and vote. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Sorry, Clark, I keep forgetting to wait for you. All right, motion passes unanimously. And if you want to know what parts we took out, you'll have to ask Julie after.
I'll totally take you to lunch.
Though the dress code really worked for 1 year, and it was nice, and I know it was written because of Eisenhower, but, it was cool for the 1 year.
Listen, I have nothing against uniform. I'm just saying, they're not around anymore.
Kennedy just disbanded theirs this year.
Yeah.
They were the last one, Kennedy Jr.
So with that, we do have one second reading. Is that okay, Chair McDermott, if I move on?
Please.
So we do have one second reading. This would require a final board action. This, you'll remember, board members, is our fiscal policy manual, section 15, tokens of appreciation, employee incentives and gifts. You'll recall from last month that we essentially wanted to align our policy with our current practice, and that is a very popular practice, I guess, of sending folks to dinner for their 25-year recognition or retirement, as opposed to trying to hold a dinner. And that change was voted on, and no other changes have been made since the first reading last month. And so if you have any further questions about that change to the policy or the fiscal policy manual, I'd be happy to respond to any questions.
Okay, any questions? All right.
I move to approve as second and final reading fiscal policy section 15.
Second, sorry. Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve as a final reading Fiscal Policy Manual, Section 15, tokens of appreciation, employee incentives, and gifts. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please?
Thanks, board members.
Thank you. And with that, we will turn that over to Rich.
Thanks, Board President. Just four things, and I promise I'll be brief. One, I wanted to express my appreciation and celebration for our office professionals and for our teachers as we celebrate them specifically, at this time of year and as it's been recognized, but I hope they do feel our appreciation and love for all that they do throughout the year. So I appreciate the specific recognitions at this time of year. The second thing, board, as you may recall, around this time in the next few weeks, we do what are called graduation reviews, where we go to our high schools, we sit down with the administrations, teachers, counselors, and associated staff, and review what has occurred, essentially, toward the goal of graduation at that specific school. We've had in the past a form. Some schools have done it a little bit differently than other schools, and there's been some latitude there. There's still some latitude there, but there's some very specific modifications to what it is that we would like to see as it aligns to our strategic priorities. As we've identified in our strategic plan, our strategic goals are graduation proficiency, and then our strategic priorities are academic, social skills and dispositions, and talent development. But specifically speaking to that overarching goal of graduation, the form has been modified to focus on the federal 4-year cohort, meaning the students that start as 9th grade, what percentage of them, right? In the numerator, the year they started is in the denominator, right? The numerator, how many of them graduated 4 years later? That's how it's reported, state and at the national level, rather than just focusing on the senior class graduation rate. And it gives us a better picture as to what's going on. Now, not to get in the too technical of the weeds, but a student can move into a school not having started in the 9th grade, but essentially be adopted into that cohort as they register as a sophomore or as a junior, even a senior, right? As soon as they enroll in the school, they're part of that federal 4-year cohort, even though they may not have started with us in 9th grade. The business rules behind the calculation. So what you'll see in those is, one, the federal 4-year cohort. What was the enrollment? That's, the denominator. The numerator is how many of them will be graduating. We take a look at early graduates, summer graduates, of course, the total graduates. But then we get very granular into the value proposition. You've heard me say that before, the value proposition behind the diploma. We want to know what percentage of that senior class has participated in advanced coursework. What percentage of that entire senior class has participated in either AP, IB, concurrent enrollment, or current technical education? And then we disaggregate that. What percentage participated in CTE? What percentage participated in AP? At any point in their 4 years of high school, did they engage? Because those have been and continue to show that students that engage in that level of coursework are better prepared for whatever post-secondary passions they may choose to pursue. And so you're going to see some aggregated data there. We'll take a look at, to the degree we have the information, what are students' post-secondary plans? Are they looking to go on to a 4-year college granting, degree granting institution? Are they going to go into applied technology? Are they going to go into the military, the workforce, or other skill certifications and so forth? So it really will be a comprehensive look as to what, again, the number of our students that are graduating, what the value proposition in terms of preparedness is for life after high school, and then one element of comparison to the previous year. Now, I love trend data to look at multiple years, but at least that year-to-year comparison would identify areas that have improved and also opportunities that still may exist for improvement. And so you'll see that in the graduation reviews coming up. As part of that process, as we think about what this time of year is, everything is ramped up to prepare for the end. And so when you think of what's going on in schools right now, there's a lot of testing. And that testing comes in the form of state mandated and federal mandated type tests. We're anxiously engaged in that. And in my site visits with principals and talking with teachers, I'm so proud of the fact that it's not just a test that's not really going to give us much information, but that it's an effort to use that assessment for learning rather than just of learning. Meaning, we're engaging students. I had the opportunity to sit down with a couple principals who were sitting down one-on-one with children, identifying very specific learning targets. Think a child had a goal to increase in their learning around numbers and operations in base 10, reading literature, reading informational text, and setting goals with the child, saying, given your learning experience this year and showing the progress that you've made, how would you want to, or what is your goal to finish this year strong? And really making it personal, and then being able to take and use that data, not in a summative way per se at the end of the year, but rather communicate explicitly that those assessment results should be an indicator of things that still need to be learned. It's not a sum total loss if they didn't learn something, but that's why we're in school, is to learn. And so we take that information, we identify opportunities that still exist for children to learn what it is that we in the state of Utah have identified students should learn through state standards. And so really impressed with the schools and their work around how they're using assessment for learning and how they're making it personal to the point of relevant for students and how they set their goals and the things that they want for themselves. And last but not least, just awareness. The Superintendents Association, the USSA, Utah School Superintendents Association, voted that I participate in leadership. It's an honor to represent. So it's a 4-year effort. So this year I'll serve, this upcoming school year I'll serve as vice president. Next year will be president-elect, third year president, fourth year past president. So I appreciate the vote of confidence of the 40 other superintendents to serve in that role. And but I did want to make aware the board in terms of what that commitment looks like. It's a few extra meetings, but it really is to do a couple things. One, and it includes the Utah Schools of Deaf and Blind and 4 regional service centers that we have in the state, in addition to coordination with the Utah State Board of Education. But there's a few extra meetings where there'll be opportunity to coordinate effort better across districts as we look at opportunities for that horizontal collaboration, as well as working even closer with the legislature in the interim session and those meetings, as well as, and I'll receive committee assignments there, as well as during the session. So with the opportunity to represent the interests of Granite, I would just invite the board, if you have questions about my service in that, or concerns or some feedback, please get with me and I'm happy to have those conversations and provide more information. And with that, Board President, concludes my report.
Thanks, Rich. Clark, do you have anything? Since you're online, let's start with you. Thanks for joining us, Clark. Karen, go ahead.
All right, I had the opportunity to attend Pioneer Community Council, which was the reason I'm calling them out specifically, is normally I have a monthly meeting that conflicts directly with that. But I was able to attend this last month. It was really good to be able to sit in. I haven't been able to visit them since for a while, and so it was good to just hear how things are going. I was able to speak briefly with their food pantry coordinator there and learn a little bit more about what they do and their student population that they serve in their community. Wanted to tell teachers and our administrative professionals, thanks. Last week and this week, I know you're formally recognized, but just wanted to give my thanks to both groups because we know schools really can't run without teachers and secretaries and so many more other people, but it's a good opportunity at this time of year as the school year is wrapping up to give extra shout outs to them. Back in 2017, we stuck our necks out and did a huge tax increase for teachers to have a market, basically a market adjustment as well as a hefty COLA. And while that was good and we celebrated teachers, I just want to say that our paras got nothing that year. And so this is the year of the classifieds in our board. I think just speaking for me, we need to look at those classified hourly wages and get those competitive. And the reason that's top of mind is I spent a good hour and a half today reviewing the trust land funds and plans for each of the schools. And so many of my schools, even though they're different communities and different goals, there are a lot of similarities in there. And a lot of them said, setting money aside to hire paras. But as one who's visited community councils, all schools have set aside paras, and then towards the end of every school year, they end up amending their plan because there's nobody that'll work for that wage. And so I think that, I know the problem. I've been told by teachers and staff, please put your focus in on getting those wages competitive. So shout out to the principals, community councils, parent members of the community councils, staff that sit on those. These trust land plans are a lot of work. They're very detailed, they're very thorough, and as I read them, I was like, goodness, that takes me an hour and a half just to read them. I can't imagine how many hours each one behind the scenes takes to write and implement and get community feedback. And I'm happy to participate in a lot of community councils, and so I see firsthand the dedication and the time commitment that's put into making those plans and not taking those goals lightly either, really being thoughtful and precise with how things are going in the school and what improvements can be made and setting high goals for each of those schools. So I think that basically concludes my report, and I'll pass my time on to someone else.
Thank you, Kara. Sure. I just want to mention a couple things. First, I just want to thank our teachers and office professionals also. I wish I could thank each and every one of them personally. That would make my day to go in and just be able to tell all of them. But thankfully I have this microphone so I can thank them all at once. And I hope to personally thank some of them also. Our schools don't run without them. And we all know that head secretary's job is key in our schools. When you walk in a school, they have all the information. And I just really appreciate all their hard work. I also want to just highlight two things that have been on my mind, and I got to attend the Excel Award banquet, and I had 3 teachers that won from my area and my schools, and it was just heartwarming to be there and to see how excited they were. Most of them have been teaching many years, and to finally just have that kudos to them and show our appreciation for them. And the foundation does provide such a neat recognition for them. So I appreciate our foundation to do the Excel Awards every year to really honor some of our best of the best. And then I had the privilege, I should say, to go and job shadow some paras at Hart Vixen. And they are some of the most amazing people that work for us in our district. And those kids are they're bright and they're smart and they just have so much to offer. And I don't think I'll ever be the same after working in that school for a day and seeing what challenges those paras are really faced with. I only got my hair pulled twice and pinched once, and they said that's pretty much a record. So they must have liked me, and I probably will have to go back and volunteer again because it was amazing. And I just can't appreciate them enough. And I know they have a thankless job, and those kids can't go up and hug them and tell them thanks. But they can sure spread love and some joy into some lives, even with their limited speech or nonverbal cues. They were just, it was pretty life-changing to do that. So I'll end on that.
I say thanks to teachers and the professionals also. How grateful I am that people work in the schools, and going back and when I worked there, what a joy it is, and I know that they enjoy it also. Thanks to the principals, I was able to speak to one and see how dedicated they are in preparing beforehand, just in case they need to have a committee formed or something. How willing they were to get things ready last fall in case they needed them. And I really appreciate the time and effort. Thanks to those at the Excel Award who won that, knowing that they only honored 9 teachers and 1 administrator, and they could have honored hundreds more, but they have to limit it to just those. And every year, so many people are honored, and they need to feel proud that they were even nominated by someone else. So just thanks to everyone. I appreciate all the work that goes into the district.
Thanks. Kim?
It's approaching the end of another school year, and kids move forward and teachers start again in a few months with a new class. I agree with everyone and just thank all the teachers, administrators, principals, secretaries, everybody who makes it run from day to day. I also want to say, though, you think Doug's joking when he talks about loving policy discussions. He really, it's no joke. Yeah, he really has an energy for it, and having our law and policy meeting this past month, just appreciate the energy that he brings in driving those policies forward. I think we have a great committee that works together on those policies, and everyone brings good feedback. So I enjoy being in those meetings every month. I got to see.
In the audit committee.
Yeah, for sure.
Seriously, what's going on in the audit? Come on, we talk numbers.
Not a lot. Some people love numbers. That's the thing. It's okay.
Sorry.
You're good. I did go get to see the West Valley Elementary play after our meeting last month. Annie, they did a great job. I think just seeing those elementary kids putting on these productions and how involved they are and how much they love what they're doing, it's awesome. Cypress Unites event happened this past month as well, and I thought that was a great event. Great turnout. I think a lot of community members there, and that's one of the big things to me is like engaging our community, finding ways to do that better. And I feel like they hit it. They hit the nail on the head there. We had a lot of people there, great turnout. Teachers engaging kids. There was a pottery table that kids could come and play around with and learn what that's like. A sewing table. I mean, there were just different displays and really fun, and free food. So I think that's a big plus. Always brings a lot of people out. So that was a really great event, and I hope to see more of those in the future. And then also got the opportunity to sit in and observe a math class this month, which I feel like I have to give a shout out to Michelle. I think it's amazing and wonderful that she is so open about bringing all kinds of people in, not just board members, right, to come see what it's like, see what the kids are like, what the process is like, what the class is like. And I think it was a good learning experience for me, so appreciate that. And with that, I'll turn it over to Julie.
I got to spend the day at Matheson Junior teaching or substituting for the someone who taught our English language learners. And man, those guys, it was like they're total heroes, those kids. And we finished our assignment because they were so focused, because they're so motivated to learn. And we finished, and the assignment had been on body parts, vocabulary of body parts. And I said, do you guys want to review? And they were like, yeah. And so, like, let the learning continue beyond what is required. They were all in for it. And so at lunch, I went and sat by some of my students and said, what do we need to do? How can we better serve you? What can we do better? And they had some great suggestions, but at the end I said, well, do you feel like you're learning here? And I don't know why. I was like astounded that they were like, oh, yes. It wasn't just, yeah, we're learning. It was like, oh, we are learning a lot here. And I was just like so thrilled to know that I had already felt like you are heroes. And then to know that we were serving them well, at least according to their perception, right? It just made me feel really happy. And today to see all these students who have had so many great opportunities here, it brings me great pride to be a part of this when I see kids having those opportunities. I wanted to take a minute to just recognize and thank the Granite Police Department. 50 years this year, and we'll be honoring you this month. And when we get texts about students who we care about, and that's all of them, we are so thankful to know we have good people on it. It's a huge relief to know that you're there for us. And I just cannot give enough gratitude to our teachers. Their expertise is so vast. They have to know about so many different things, and sometimes our public forgets that. That like, no, I'm using skills in here. I'm not just like, you know why those people are listening? Because I have skills. That's why they're listening. And you know why they're showing growth? Because I've got skills. And so I just want to honor the skills of our teachers today, and also the potential for continual growth for them. And I hope that we provide opportunities for that growth in our district for them.
Okay, thank you, sorry. Thank you, Julie. I just was, thank you for reminding us.
Well, you reminded me of something, Rich. I also wanted to say, Rich, I really appreciate that you will be representing us in leadership in JLC. No, is it JLC? USSA. Oh, USSA. And also, I speak for myself, not necessarily the board, when I say that one of the reasons I'm happy about that is because I know that we care about all Utah students, not just Granite Utah students. And I like that sends that message, because I really love the idea of all of our districts having the same goal and not competing against each other, but working together with the same goal. And I think that you embody that. So I'm thrilled that you're going to be in that position.
I honestly thought you were going to say you were excited to have him represent us at the Bees game. Well, he's going to be dressed like a vegetable. He's going to be dressed as a pickle. His favorite vegetable. As a reminder, thank you, Julie, for mentioning the police recognition. It's an open house that will be on May 12th, and anybody can come and visit that. It's from, I believe it starts at 5, and it will be here. Also, that kind of goes over the teacher appreciation, what did they call it? The grab and fair, the Teacher Appreciation Fair that's put on by the Granite Education Foundation, I believe. And then also PTA awards will be this Thursday, if anybody has a chance to go to those to support our PTA winners. And then just as a future, just please make sure you put on your calendar June 20th for our board retreat. And we've kind of sketched out a schedule, and we will for sure let you guys know what that is. I do want to say I appreciate being able to go to the Excel Awards. It is a good reminder, though, of that we don't just have 9 great teachers and 1 great principal, but we have a whole district load of them. And I wish we could recognize them. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for those people who are in our schools every day working with those kids, which also means that we have office professionals that are fantastic and wonderful and deal with those kids. But also I do want to recognize that we have a lot of office professionals here in the district that take care of a lot. I know we deal with Darla and Stacy most of the time. Stacy, thank you so much for supporting us and for supporting Rich and everything that we do as a board. And Darla does a lot with Ben and coordinates, but also Julianne and Gaina. You guys, I think, take a lot of punching bag times for us with all this stuff that we have happen. And all of our other wonderful secretaries that are here too. Please pass that along to them. Because I know we get to recognize them in the school, but sometimes we forget that we have them all over for our foods people, for all of our departments. So thank you for that. You've heard me say that before. The 2 most important people to know are the custodian and the secretary at a school or anywhere. So, and it's very true. And then just finally, as we start, Monday, I think, was the first AP test, and we have amazing test coordinators in all of our high schools. I believe all of them have a test coordinator. And also the parents, I just want to say thank you to the parents who have offered their time to come and help proctor those exams. They are lengthy, they are, it's a lot of work and a lot of time. So thank you for those who have coordinated that, as well as those who are offering their time to proctor those. And for those people who are helping out in the elementaries as well, in our junior high. So look forward to seeing you guys at some of these upcoming events. And we are going to, I'll entertain a motion to saunter we'll saunter for 5 minutes while we go take a potty break. We need to reconvene an executive session that we took a recess on. And so we'll come back in 5 minutes, if that's okay.
So we don't adjourn this meeting?
No, not till after we.
Executive session.
Mhm.
So we need a motion to saunter?
Motion to saunter.
Is that the official language?
Yes.
Doug, is that the official language? I motion that we saunter for 5 minutes and return for to reconvene our executive session.
I don't think we do.
Second.
Motion to saunter.
Motion to saunter. All right, let's do it.
Are we gonna vote?
Do we have to vote on it? All those in favor?
Aye.
Did you second?
You said second. All right, we're going to saunter for 5 minutes. We'll be back.
Coming back here? Whatever. Oh, yeah, back here. Yeah, in here. I think of a million things to say.
Saunter away.